Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here. Drink a beer and play a game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 189. Thank you for joining us tonight. Brian, I am dragging ass today.
I am as well, and I decided to continue wearing the green from yesterday. It was one hell of a game, Chambers.
That was a great game.
For some people, it was a great game.
Great game. Can say we had some great company for it.
We did. We had Dan and Petey. Dan of Console Wars, of course. Petey of Point and Drink Adventures, which they've been guests on plenty of times. They're great. If you haven't already, click on the links below. See their channels. But yeah, was Dan having a good time?
I mean, he enjoyed the company.
Yeah, he enjoyed
sometimes. We weren't rubbing it in for every single goddamn play that went wrong for the Giants, which was all of them.
There was a point when I actually felt bad.
The poor guy, he would just be sitting there like, what are you doing?
I mean, the go-to was, you're going for it on fourth? Why would you do that? A fucking touchdown? Like, it was just instantaneous anger. But yeah, no, it was a great time. We went through way too many coolers. We went through a bunch of different, very expensive whiskeys. Thank you again, Michelle.
Yeah.
And then I had everyone try some mead and a little bit of that Van Buren black currant whiskey. So there was a tasting afoot, Jim.
There's a lot of mixing and matching.
Yeah, so this...
there was an early bedtime for Jimmy and Brian.
Yeah. And I guess we'll say, too, we got to experience the joy of sex.
I gave everyone the gift of the Philips CDI. So yes, we did play the joy of sex on the Philips CDI. One of the few adults-only rated games to ever really come out.
Here's the deal. All it really is, it's meant for couples, and it's a bunch of softcore porn scenes with advice or stories, I'll call them. I told Jim...
Told by old British women.
I told Jim what he has to do now is get all that footage. I'll blur out the nudity, and we're going to give you guys the movie for free.
Gladly.
So, Jim, I know it'll be a very difficult task for you to sit through all of it.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be a few bottles of Jergens for that one.
God.
I regret nothing.
So, Chambers, I know we have better beer. Well, actually, this isn't bad beer. But we did just get done recording. It won't come out by the end of this year.
It'll be a couple weeks.
But another Patreon review. It's second to last.
Yeah, second to last.
So, yeah, we started it. Our tradition is, as we're reviewing games, we're going to go through crap beer, but I'm all out of crap beer, so we're going with the Funk Brewing Funktoberfest. It's one of the beers I reviewed. It's actually pretty good. What I'm surprised about is they have very clearly on here multiple times, drink fresh, do not age. And if you know anything about Oktoberfest, they're brewed specifically for September, which means they're out probably in August. And
today's December 12th.
Yeah, so it's a little old, but I think it's maintained.
It still tastes good. It's got a lot of sedimentation at the bottom now. A little bit of a chunky boy.
It's got some cummies at the bottom, but no, it's a good beer. But then we'll be moving on to some Trogs I brought over Chambers' house, which thank God we didn't dip into that.
That's the last thing we needed.
Sticking with Coors was probably the first time.
With Michelle not drinking any of the Coors with us, me, you, and Dan went through a 30-pack of Coors in about 3-4 hours. I mean, along with multiple whiskey samplings.
That seems to be a trend for us, I would say.
Yeah, we do that.
Was it Coors that we did too many games too? Was that the pyramid we made?
Yeah, it was Coors. It's been Coors every time.
That seems to be a theme, Jim.
It's a tradition at this point, like none other.
Maybe
the best part of that was at the beginning, we all went, okay, we have shit to do tomorrow. Yes. We're not going to go too crazy.
Jim and I had very early important meetings. Michelle and Dan had work. We're like, yeah, we're not going to go crazy.
Yeah, we all have shit to do. We won't go hard. And then after the first quarter, it was just like...
the wheels came off. Yep. So, yeah, maybe we'll have to keep that tradition going for a certain fest.
I think so.
A certain mag fest.
A certain super mag fest.
It'll be our first time. Chambers, the real question is, do you think you're going to enter in any game tournaments?
I don't know. It depends on what they have.
Will you show off your Smash skills?
What Smash skills? I'm not good at Smash. I'm going to get my ass kicked.
You're not good at most games.
It's a good point.
The only thing I'll give you is Mario Kart 64, and I'm specifying 64.
Yeah.
I would say Street Fighter 2, but that's only... I know you're good against me, but I suck at that game, so I don't know how you are competitive.
There was a meme the other day that's like, or was it like a hard drive article where it's like, guy who's good against friends like gets ass kicked at online play with fighting game.
Yeah.
That's me.
I would give you that. I feel like there's another 64 game I would give you.
Star Fox, they did Star Fox multiplayer.
No, I did better than you on that the first time I played. How was that the first time you played? I beat the game first try.
There's like a 20-year difference, but
I mean, it sounds like you're just making excuses, Jim.
Whatever.
But yeah, no, that'll be interesting. We already mentioned, we're very excited. First time at MagFest, so will be fun for sure.
Yeah, if you see us there, hit us up. Come say hi and have a beer with us.
Yeah.
Because we need the excuse. Christ.
But Chambers,
I'm not gonna make it to 6 o'clock.
I think you just need to start bringing 5-hour energies with you.
I need to bring meth. That's what I fucking need. 5-hour energy won't even do it anymore.
You need something. So something's got
a lot of uppers. All the uppers.
Maybe just do the Dan method and just eat carrots.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe all that goddamn vitamin C. Jesus.
So Chambers. So we covered our drinking, but what you been playing since last week?
Well, I tried to play our last goddamn Patreon game, which is fucking Shadow the Hedgehog, and
not going well.
Well, 1, it's not very good. And 2, they've got the level 2 and discrete error. So, what did I do in my drunken stupor? I bought it again. So, I bought 2 discs of Shadow the Hedgehog for GameCube now.
So, is the disc scratched? The first one?
The first one was pretty scratched. Yeah.
Did you do the toothpaste in the toilet?
Yeah, I tried. Didn't.
Actually, can you do that with a GameCube disc?
You can do it with any disc.
Well, it's tiny.
It is tiny.
So, how'd you do it in the toilet?
I just did the thing and rinsed it off. And
okay.
That, so I didn't do it in the toilet.
Did you do it right?
Probably not. But yeah, so I bought it a second time. Really gonna get my money's worth out of this one.
Chambers.
But yeah, besides that, actually, what do you call it? So after that failed, I actually just dipped in some Vampire Survivors. Okay. And I was like, yeah, I need some. You know what? I'll play something dumb. Yeah. Just to relax.
But that wasn't your first time playing it, though, right?
No.
How far are you?
I'm like, I unlocked the 3rd level, 3rd world.
Okay, so you're still kind of.
I'm still pretty early. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a thing that I'm like going to go out of my way to like beat anytime soon or anything like that. But if I'm bored, I want to just pop on something for a half hour. I do that.
I tend to like those as I call it like palate cleansers.
Yeah.
Like especially after deep games and us getting through a level 50 club, like. It's nice to kind of just have like, okay, this isn't going to be I got to really dive deep game.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, turn your brain off, just move simulator with powers.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And then, of course, the joy of sex.
I'm not counting that, Jim.
I think you had left by that point. We also popped in Hotel Mario. Were you there for Hotel Mario?
Where you got to Bowser and
we went
Michelle was trying to play that?
Yeah, we all kept trying to do the Bowser fight.
I know you didn't beat it.
No one of us beat it. I at least got past the first part.
I would have beat it.
You know what? You know you're your fucking luck, probably.
Jim then just throws out his game. Fuck this game.
Just pick up the whole CDI and chuck it out the window.
That could be an interesting drinking game, Jim. For every door I close, you sip.
Oh, God. Well, good night, everybody.
So, yeah, speaking of games that were just... I call them fuck around games. So first thing that pisses me off is I have Xbox Pass on my PC, and I've been playing Fallout 76 for a while. Download an update, all of a sudden the game won't launch. I'm looking at all these things online, how to fix it. I've uninstalled the game, reinstalled it, and it's like 85 gigs. I've updated files. I can't get the game to launch anymore, so I don't know what the hell to do. So I've kind of had to give up, and I hope it will just fix itself. But outside of that, Dead by Daylight has their winter event, which is always, you know me, I'm a sucker for seasonal events. But I did beat 2 games. So one of them was Trek to Yomi, which is a 2D set in like feudal Japan. You're a samurai, but then they mix because Yomi is equivalent to Hades, and it goes into like mythology, and it's really cool because it's one of those games where by the end you have 3 choices to make. And I was going to ask you about this. Is it lazy game development when you get to a point, not that I'm calling Fallout lazy, but you know how like in a lot of Fallouts at the end, like you can join one of the 3 or 4 clans, guilds, whatever. So you create a save point just to go back and see it. This game doesn't have that option. Once you choose your path, it's done. You have to restart the game all over again if you want to get through it.
Yeah.
Not the longest game in the world, so it's doable. But I'm
that's some cheaper playability.
I'm like, okay, you sons of bitches. I only went through the one time. Really beautiful game. And what I like is a lot of games decide to make sword play in games like it's not as easy as just slash. It's about parrying and all that shit.
And touching peckers.
It's not always about peckers, Jim.
Maybe to you.
Get the Jergens. But it's a game that I would say, you know what, give it a try. If you're looking for something new as a 2D, can't call it hack and slash, a 2D action game, it's pretty cool. And it was free on Game Pass, so I was like, what the hell, why not? But then I actually dipped into a system I haven't touched in a while, the Switch. And you know what? I was like, let me just turn this on. Let me see if they have any deals. And the amount of $1.99 games, especially because they're having like their winter sale. I got one called Creepy Tales, and of course horror-based. Think Grimm's Fairy Tales. You and your brother are going through the forest. He gets captured, and then it's just a series of like, I'll call them like kind of puzzle things, but with a specific Grimm fairy tale to it.
Okay. It's
weird. It's kind of done in that hand-drawn style. I can't really say I'd recommend it, but it was one like I beat, like it finished way faster. I was like, oh, that was it?
$2 well spent, huh?
Yeah, it was $2 for probably 2.5, 3 hours of a game.
That's fine.
Which, yeah, I'm not hating on it, but I am happy I got the Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, which is usually a $60 game. It was 90-some% off, so I got it for $4.99 with all the DLC packs on Switch.
Oh.
Which you and I think that's our like guilty pleasures, those Lego games.
Yeah, I don't think I ever fully beat a Lego game. I think I always got bored after a couple hours, but like they're ones I always liked, but they never had staying power. But I've played a bunch of them, but I've never beaten one.
They're to me the ultimate nerd feast. Like they do nerd shit so well. Like if you're in Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, Marvel, DC. They will have so many Easter eggs, so many costumes, so many characters. Like, why not? And so I haven't actually played it yet, but I did download that. So yeah, that's kind of been my go-to right now.
The new Star Wars one actually looks pretty damn cool. And from what I'm hearing, they changed up the combat and shit like that enough to like it feels actually like a little bit of a step forward for the franchise for the first time ever.
What was the game that got you into the Legos?
Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. And that's the first one I had. Then I dicked around with like one of the Marvel superheroes ones and like one of the other ones here and there. So
yeah, I started with Batman, and then I got the Star Wars, the collection of the 3 movies, and when it was 3 movies,
right.
But now I'm sure there's collections for how many movies are there now?
9 main lines and all the spin-offs and all that shit.
So yeah, it's been nice to just kind of screw around with games that I otherwise really wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little palate cleanse for you. But yeah, we should mention we have been mentioning the Level 50 Club. Obviously, it's the end of the year. We're still getting some people filtering in. If you've been keeping track of your games, or if you just remember them, you want to post at the very end, send us your way, because we will do a wrap-up video by the end of the month to kind of go over the games you played, what were our favorites, what were the worst. And yeah, we really appreciate everyone who's joined in. I know a lot of our patrons have, and we always truly, truly appreciate it.
Yep, fun little experiment.
But yeah, if you just want to, as a mental checklist, oh yeah, I beat these many games, just hashtag Level 50 Club, or tag Drink a Beer, Play a Game, and we'll add you to the list. Mm-hmm. But Chambers, what do we got this week from Patreon?
Yes, patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question and we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. Couple quick shout-outs. We have a couple new patrons this week. So first to the Todd Howard Stand for his joining the $5 tier.
Thank you,
your
bud.
game request in. And also to Retro Death Row for joining the $2 tier. So,
awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, bud.
Welcome aboard, everybody.
And make sure, get those questions in, especially if you're already here or brand new. Get them in. We love getting the questions from you guys.
Exactly. Get your money's worth. So, first up from Gamer Astral, shout out to the Bill Clinton you. Yo!
That fucking...
We're actually going to get to that.
We're going to dive into that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of have to.
Yeah.
Poor flute guy. He wanted to be famous so bad with how he was hamming it up. Then the little troll stole everyone's heart, Bri.
I hate people. That's all I'm going to say.
Next up from Todd Howard Stan. Well, now he's the Todd Howard sucks. Any thoughts on Todd Howard? Thoughts on Todd Howard, Brian?
So, sadly enough, for how much I love Fallout shit, I didn't know Todd Howard's name before I saw him come across clips of him on Lex Friedman's podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't even watch Lex Friedman, so it just popped up. But I guess because I always watch like Skyrim and Fallout shit, because they talked about it, I was like, oh, who's this guy talking? And I was like, oh, that's the game director. That's the extent that I know about Todd Howard.
You will play Skyrim, and you will buy it again.
And here's the deal. I was like, I did look at this question early, and I went, is there something I should know about him, like that people hate him or like don't like? But I was like, no, he's just
kind of memed on for just...
He's memed on for making a really good game and obviously doing what every game developer does. But other than that, I was like, then I even went back. I was like, let me watch some clips. Like, he's just a kind of quiet, nerdy, very deep in his lore of his games and believes in them all the way. I'm like, he's who I want to develop games.
Yeah.
So
makes for a good meme. I'm a stan, or I'm a fan. God damn, your name's fucking throwing me off here.
Yeah, I have no issues with him. I love his games. Yeah, I hope there's not something very obvious both of us are missing.
Well, as far as I know, he's never played Smash, so we might be in luck, Brian. Next up from JD Maines, best cut of steak. Merry Christmas, fellas.
I mean, the filet is the easy answer, but I'm going to go...
A T-bone's nice because you get those two different cuts.
Well, I was going to say, T-bone has a cut of filet with the...
Is that tri-tip or...
No, it's...
Fucking, I forgot what the other one is.
Called? Where's that? The porterhouse. No, I think porterhouse... Fuck. One of them has a filet on one side and then...
They know thing on the other.
This is going to kill me, yeah. That's nice getting those two. And with the bone, I feel like you get a little bit better juices with it. But the filet, I mean, honestly, yeah. The problem with the filet is either you want to pay all your money in the world and still only get like 8 ounces.
Yeah.
What I haven't had, I think I've only had one time is a tomahawk. But those bitches are expensive.
I've never had a tomahawk, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, steak is good. Now I want fucking steak.
Yeah. Unless you get like dollar store steak, it's kind of hard to go wrong. Or if you go to the wrong diner. Like even fucking McDonald's steak and eggs bagel. Like even that's like a solid get.
Jim.
Perfect hangover food.
Here's the problem, everyone. Now you hear we're talking about the greatest steak. And Jim references dollar store, McDonald's, and a diner.
Yes, I am scum. We know this.
But this is 3 places where you never get steak from.
3 places where I've gotten steak. I've got steak everywhere.
I mean, here's the deal. That old thing...
you don't appreciate the good shit unless you've had the bottom of the barrel.
There is only one acceptable ordering of steak at diners, and that's steak and eggs. If you ever get steak as an entree at a diner, you fucked up in life. Something went wrong the night before, and you're probably that same asshole who would put ketchup on your steak.
No, I've never done the ketchup.
You might as well.
I've never done the ketchup.
Yeah, but no, a good steak.
Have I ordered a steak dinner at IHOP before? Yes, I have.
Why?
Taste of rainbow, Brian.
No.
Got to experience it everywhere.
God damn it.
The highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows.
But yeah, whatever it is, I think Jim's right. I think it is a T-bone that has the two cuts. Like I said, one side is filet, the other is.
It's a cheater answer, but you can't. It's 2 for 1.
Yeah. So it's that or filet. I mean, what else would you say? You know here's an underrated cut of steak is flank steak.
Yeah.
It's used in a lot of Cuban and Spanish cuts, and put that with
You're
some white rice.
Joking off because you had that Cuban sandwich earlier.
Yeah, I made it from. Come on,
right,
Jim. Come on. You don't know about Cubano.
I know your fucking.
You don't know Cubano.
Oh, I know Cubano.
But yeah, no. Thank you for making me hungry for steak now.
Yep. And last up from Burn Retinas, the dumbest trades or contract signing in sports that you can think of.
Trades or contract signing?
Easiest one in the world for me is fucking Von Hayes, old 5 for 1. Fucking trading away goddamn future Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg for that fucking bum.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a good. I don't.
You're not as deep into it like the.
No, I don't. I don't follow teams like that. I'm trying to think who went really bust, but that's. I mean, they probably thought they were getting good people, and then people just get injured, so it's tough to say.
Yeah, I mean, like when we did our big trade to get Eric Lindros, like Lindros was a game changer, but we could have probably kept Peter Forsberg and been just as well off.
Yeah,
and had a longer career out of him.
When we got Jaromir Jagr, did we trade for him, or did we just...
No, we picked him up off free agency, but that was a fuck up, too, because we let him go because we didn't want to pay him. We didn't want to pay Jagr 5... Every goddamn player on the Flyers that year had a career year with Jagr just feeding them perfect passes for easy goddamn goals. Jake Voracek got $90 million. There's a bad fucking contract right there for you. Out of a goddamn 90-point season thanks to Jagr. And what did the Flyers do? Nah, we don't want to give him $5 million. Nah, go wherever you want. No, we'll give Brizgalov and pay him for the next goddamn 10 years. No, we'll give Jagr $5 million.
You know what, Jim? I'm going to be topical. Worst trade in history? Brittany Grimer for that Russian arms dealer.
How do you get the fucking Lord of War?
When I looked into what that guy was about, I was like,
Maybe don't trade anyone if he's on the block. I don't even care, much less a basketball player. Maybe keep him rotting away.
Yeah, that's where it's like you've just released evil into the world. So that was a bad trade. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Bad trade. I'm glad she's home, but when you do the scales on that one,
yeah, 9. I mean, granted, 9 years for a vape pen, complete bullshit, political prisoner. But considering who you let back out into the world,
yeah. If it was like, Russian, even low-level drug dealer, or he robbed some cars.
Some other KGB guy, KGB buddy of Putin's
where
or
it was
something.
like, okay, but this guy,
the world's most famous arms dealer, black market arms trader. Okay,
that was bad trade.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Bad value. Just saying. See, topical, Jim.
There you go. So we had Ruben Amaro working that trade. So there we go.
Yeah.
That wraps up the questions for this week. So once again, thank you to everyone out there for the support. As always, thank you for all of our new signups. We really do appreciate the support. And as always, check the links below to the iTunes and Spotify feeds. Leave 5-star reviews. Any 5-star review we'll read on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
All right, everyone, with the holidays right around the corner, if you haven't already found a gift for the special guy in your life, then I have a solution for you that's better than just getting a gift card. You really need to head over to Manscaped.com and check out their Platinum Package 4.0. As you can see, this thing is filled to the brim with all kinds of goodies. Let's start with the Lawnmower 4.0 Body Trimmer, which features a proprietary advanced skin-safe technology that helps protect your fellas downstairs. Plus, if you're trying to do this in the dark and you need a little bit extra light, check out this 4000K LED light, so you'll be able to see all your little nooks and crannies. And for the older gentleman in your life, why not try out the Weed Whacker Nose and Ear Hair Trimmer? Because nobody's trying to see a whole bunch of hair growing out of those areas. Now, these are great tools that keep you looking good, but let's talk about your smell. Let's start with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, a deodorant you didn't know you need, and you probably didn't even know was on the market. But let's not stop there. let's make your balls feel a little better with the Crop Reviver. You're going to feel better, and you're going to get rid of any stank problems all day long. But in addition, the Platinum Package 4.0 also offers a nice pair of boxer briefs because chances are the ones you're wearing have some holes that you really should be throwing out at this point. Add in this awesome leather travel case, and you can take this on the go anywhere. This truly is a great package, and what I will say is, ironically, after using this, I got compliments on my beard. May not have been from the people I wanted, but it was still there. So if you want to get a great gift for a guy in your life, head over to manscaped.com and make sure you use the promo code DBPG to get 20% off and free shipping. Once again, that is 20% off and free shipping with the code DBPG. Don't be the Grinch in your guy's life. Help bring him some cheer. His balls will thank you. All right, Chambers, so we are now back. We've moved on from the Funktoberfest, and we're trying out the Trogs Grand Cacao, which we've done. I know I've had a ton of times.
I'm pretty sure I've had it before.
Yeah,
I've had almost everything from Trogs.
Yeah, very delicious chocolate stout. You're not really going to get many bad beers out of Trogs, so if you do like stouts, this is a good one to try, 6.5%. And, yeah, I mean, I won't say there's anything crazy stand outish about it, but it's just very well rounded, not so chocolatey that's sweet, but it has enough flavor where it's not bitter enough.
Yeah, if you like a good stout and just a smooth drink in general, go for this one.
Yeah. So Chambers, we touched on it on the Patreon, but I went ahead with Colonel Fancy's request about, hey, would we be able to stream the Game Awards?
Yeah, how'd you get that set up? Because I saw that email come through. Did you apply to?
I applied. So basically, I was like, what the hell? Let me look into the logistics of it. And you had to apply to whoever that runs it. They put it out there like it's that guy. I'm going to say his name wrong.
Jeff Keighley.
Yeah. And even the message, like After Effects, is from Jeff Keighley. Like,
yeah, sure.
He's like, share your stats from the stream. But no, I saw it. I was like, all right, let me apply. Sent the email. Didn't see nothing till basically like day of. And they sent like all these links. Now, I could have done overlays that they sent with them, but I was like, no, I just need the rights to co-stream this. So, yeah, I saw it. And then it was a matter of course, that was the day my wife was going to be late. And I was like, God damn it. So I was like, let me start the stream, but watch it and then like chat with folks while I was doing it. And then I hopped on probably by 8:30ish.
Yeah, it wasn't too long in, probably like within an hour. It was a long fucking stream, goddamn 3.5 hours.
You don't have to tell me, Jim.
I mean, I was in and out. I was in there for most of it, but you did the heavy lifting on that.
It was number one. It was a great time, and I truly appreciate it. A lot of folks came out. TJ, you are a goddamn rock star.
First off, poor fucking TJ. He decides to be, little Johnny Generous over here. Gives
This
a random sub
guy.
out there. Who's it come to? This guy.
The story of Jim's life.
The most unneeded free sub to come to me.
Yeah, the only, he was trying to be nice, quick free sub, and it auto-picked Jim. And, I was fine, like, just leave it at that. And then he gifted another, like, 7 or 8 subs. So, TJ, once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, to anyone who was in that stream at that point, enjoy your free subs, because almost everyone got one, basically.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, and even in that, I believe, Colonel Fancy, I think you resubbed, and Todd, I think you did too. So, really, guys, we appreciate it. And you know what? Regardless of opinions, it was fun talking to you guys with it.
The best part was hanging out with everybody, because God knows it wasn't a fucking show.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
how do people out there pretend to be excited for this thing? That was fucking terrible.
It made me sad to see people we know who I have to imagine they were faking like shock and awe, and people even on Twitter like, oh my God, like great, like they're announcing this game. I'm like, there was like maybe 2 or 3 announcements where I legit went, oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, there were some cool ones. I mean, like, and ones I definitely wasn't expecting, like Dead Cells and Castlevania merging together.
So I've never played Dead Cells, and I know
I haven't played it yet either.
Game of the Year one year.
That was up for it, yeah.
But yeah, no, that was how it kind of kicked off. that was cool as shit. I mean, yeah, let's start with the games that were announced that were cool. So that was cool. I think the biggest one for me was Hades 2.
Yeah.
Because I didn't hear shit about that.
No, that was a total shock.
Because that came out in
2020.
Yeah, so, you know, not super long development time between the two, but really excited for that. There was a few other games I was like, okay, like
that fucking Death Stranding 2 goddamn promo that took like 10 goddamn minutes.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like
Kojima, stop jerking off into your cutscenes, for the love of God.
He is so weird. And
have something make sense for once.
I watched that and I went, what is happening? I didn't play Death Stranding 1. I don't know.
It didn't seem like a ton of people who played 1 even knew what was going on with this cutscene in 2, so
no
I
idea.
think it's brand new characters and shit, even though they showed Norman Reedus at the end and crap.
Yeah, it was like, okay, cool, they announced that. There wasn't a ton of other games that I went, oh, I guess the Armored Core was pretty cool.
Yeah, Armored Core looks cool.
Did you play those?
Never played any.
Me neither. But when I first saw it, I was just like, oh, it's from Software, so it's their style game with mechs. But I doubt. I mean, I guess Armored Core is clearly.
It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So
outside of that, like there were some cool like little games. Like there was Atomic Heart they showed, and then a game that was like Atomic Heart. There was a Hellboy kind of. It looked very stylized. I couldn't tell if it was like a 3D action game, but when I heard the voice and it wasn't Ron Perlman, I kind of went, son of a bitch.
Right. They didn't show any previews for that like Rick and Morty gun game. It's coming out tonight. I had no idea that was even coming out.
Was it Life is High or
something like
high, something high because I get
High on Life or something.
Yes,
Life
High on Life because I keep getting shit like popping up like pre-install it. I was like, no. What's gonna piss me off is how big of they're trying to be a meme game.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't even think, and maybe I'm being unfair, judging before I play. I think their efforts went into being ha-has versus developing a good game.
Right.
And I could be completely... Maybe it's the greatest shooter ever. I could be wrong, Jim. Who knows? I know it's not nice to generalize.
Well, Brian, I'll generalize because if it's like present day Rick and Morty, it's going to be awful.
But with the reveals, what annoyed me was the amount of games that were already at like Callisto...
Yeah,
I'm like, why are you
showing?
Yeah,
they showed a ton of games that are already out, and they like just came out.
Games that were already out, and then it was like ports of games to other systems, which shows like the level of I don't give a fuckness that was. I was like, I don't care that this like Vampire Survivors was coming to PlayStation, like it was coming to some other. I was like, I don't. Oh no, phones.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't care the amount of Among Us stuff. I was like, you're still doing that.
And they repeated a lot of trailers and shit like that a lot too, or like video packages. Like they showed that same Nintendo like group of like little shit like 4 times, like at least once an hour.
Yeah, so honestly, of the reveals, like I said, Hades 2 was the one that legit had me go, oh, that's cool. There was a few other games that I was kind of like, oh, that's a game I'll never get to, but if it's free, I'll try it. One general note I did have, and I'll be honest, I didn't pick it up while we were watching, and apparently it caught a lot of heat, is there was like almost no Xbox shit, and they kind of got a big red flag for not showing up.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, Xbox is like spitting in the face of gamers by not. It's like, I mean, they don't have any games.
Well, it's that.
What are they going to show off?
On that same
Game Pass commercial, it sells itself.
We are getting to it. They were kind of being sued by someone, and it dropped the same exact day.
Ah, yeah.
So, whatever the case, I didn't even think of that while we were watching, but yeah, the game reveals, whatever. The hosts were annoying as shit. There wasn't one host I went, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing that...
the fucking musical performances were weird. I mean, like, everyone kind of memed on the Halsey one, but, like, she was probably the best one.
Well, but it wasn't only her and Hoser, right?
Yeah, it was her and Hosier and...
Was there another one?
I forget if there's another one. Maybe not.
What I did like was they were music from the games.
That's what they generally do, yeah.
Which I've never watched these, so I didn't know.
Nah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, they've had Mick Gordon come before and do, like, Doom music and shit, so...
But yeah, no, I mean, Halsey, I got a thing for it.
Uh-huh.
And Hoser, I know you don't like him, but fuck.
What?
But speaking of appearances, to have Al Pacino and Animal, and
Don't you besmirch Animal.
Jim,
Don't you fucking dare.
I don't care if your little drummer boy heart loves him because he played the drums. Of all the Muppets to have, you went. This is 95 WWE. You could have anyone you want, and they're like, yeah, we will get Barry Horowitz.
Look, they couldn't afford Kermit. Like, he is no Barry Horowitz.
Who is he in that pantheon? Because he is not anyone in the top tier. He's not even Lex Luger by a mile.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
He is not throwing Yoko over the...
He's one of the Muppet Babies, Brian. You know who gets to be a Muppet Baby? The top tiers. That's who. And he was a Muppet Baby twice.
Don't you dare, Jim.
Oh, I will go there.
But the fucking...
I feel so bad for Al Pacino because when it came out, like, half the tweets were like, oh, it's fucking Dunkachino.
Dude. Well...
fucking Jack and Jill. That poor guy. 50 years in film.
There was...
multiple Oscars.
Zero respect for him. And here's the deal. I mean, they had to throw so much at him. And... he came out right away. I was joking. I was like, he's not going to see shit. And he's
clearly
like,
stoned.
He said, I can't see the teleprompter. And he tried to like riff on like gaming. He's like, as you can guess, I don't game. I watch my kid game and there's some cool stuff. And everyone's like, I love the pan shots to the audience and they're trying to find like the one person like engaged. But I was like, that was a shit show. And then who was the other... There was one other person like Pacino that they had as a guest that I thought it was almost identical in the terms of like couldn't give a fuck.
Was it like what when Keegan Michael Key came out?
No, he tried. You know what? He tried. He tried more than anyone else. There was, fuck, this is killing me. I watched the whole thing. There was somebody else that came out just like that. That was like same deal where I was like, they don't care at all.
No.
But you know what? Putting all that aside, then there was the actual awards themselves, and I don't know if it's a common thing, but it felt like there was only maybe 7 awards that they actually handed to somebody.
Yeah, like they call it the Game Awards, and the actual awards are like the least like done part of the entire thing.
Because there were so many where like they just fast fired. They're like, all right, and best indie, and then
best strategy game goes to Mario and Rabbids, yeah, and then the best thing in this goes to this, and the best sim goes to this.
Just and here's the deal.
Like we know it's a commercial. We know it's a big commercial.
The guy,
but fuck,
I don't know his name.
Pretend.
But fucking God of War guy and his 10-minute long speech that never shut the fuck up.
I think I tuned out at that point for a little bit.
You weren't there. Yeah, it was basically like, okay, I forget if it was I think he got it for performance. It's the guy who plays Kratos. And at first it's like, yeah. And then he's telling a story and he's one of these very long pregnant pauses. Like, is that the end of the fucking story? And then he keeps going. You're like, everyone was like, all right, this needs to stop. He just kept going and going with these stories that went fucking nowhere. He's like diving in. He's like, and the brave men and women that I'm like, what are we talking about now?
What?
So
I'm glad I missed that.
That was a little annoying. But outside of that, I think most of the picks were what everyone expected. I think the game of the year, most people thought it would just automatically go God of War. And
the way the night was looking, because God of War was going for the sweep.
Basically everything. Elden Ring, I don't think won anything else except for a game of the year.
I think it won one other one before then, but
was that the one where it was like art direction?
It might have been art direction.
It was
or something,
some kind of direction. I mean, here's the deal. The real thing is, we knew it was only going to be between those two. It like everyone else, imagine showing up and knowing you have 0 shot.
Horizon Forbidden West getting a big offer in all their categories. That franchise gets no respect.
And yeah, Stray won too much. I think it won like twice. It actually won twice.
2 times too many?
It was best indie debut and then best indie game. How can you win for both of those?
I mean, it debuted this year.
Yeah, but
I mean, fucking Genshin Impact won the fucking popularity vote, and that's been out for 3 years.
That was so stupid. And I like they announced
the whole thing around that, like
remove the bots.
The Sonic fans trying to make it like win, and then Genshin fans just being like, "Oh fuck this," and then they just crushed them.
which I looked up Genshin after and I said, okay.
Yeah, card-based something or other.
I mean, it's like an open world game.
Yeah, open world with card-based combat or some shit.
Sounds terrible. But
Weebs, Brian. Weebs.
So, yeah, I mean, it was...
Weebs versus Sonic fans. Oh, what a competition.
I guess then that shit show of after the game of the year, whatever that little fuck was that came up, and what was his thing? He's like, I want to nominate this award to...
A shout out to my rabbi bro Bill Clinton or something like that.
Like reformed Rabbi Bill... Yeah, something about Rabbi Bill Clinton. I was like... I remember I said on stream, I was like, was that a joke? Like, what is that? Who is that?
Yeah, it turns out he's just some troll. He's been on InfoWars already and shit like that.
Of course he has.
He's just some troll. But he just, like, decided to walk up there. I guess the Japanese are too goddamn polite to be like, who the fuck's this guy? As he's, like, standing with them for, like, a good 10 minutes as they're doing their speeches.
Yeah, that...
I thought he was part of their crew.
That is probably why you should have a delay and just cut him. Because just giving him the airtime now, you just gave him so much power with that. And you ended the night on that little shithead.
Poor Flute Guy. Flute Guy wanted to be internet famous so bad.
Wait, who's Flute Guy?
The guy who was on the flute when they were doing the Game of the Year nominations and they had the orchestra going. And they kept going to him and he was like...
Jim, what was he doing?
As soon as I started doing that, I knew that was a terrible idea. But yes, he was going really hard with his stuff. Look, just make a gif of it. I don't fucking care. Do it.
Jim.
One of you in the Discord will do it. We have a Discord. Join the Discord. Links below.
Jim, I thought you were going to talk more about the impressive use of the... What the fuck is the instrument during the Hoser song? The
hurdy-gurdy?
Hurdy-gurdy.
That was awesome. I was like, holy shit, a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah. So... Here's the deal. When I watched it, I had no expectations. I didn't think it would be good. What was nice is there weren't true commercials. The commercials were commercials for games. That would
have been some fucking balls if in a show of commercials they had commercials in between segments.
Well, that's why it's like every so often it was like cutting away. I was like, oh, they're gonna do a commercial. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just games. But here's the deal. I don't. Unless a lot of people want to do it, and Todd, you had a great point. If, and let me say if again, I ever do that again, I'll definitely do a Discord so we can do voice chat and I'll talk.
Yeah, that would have made it better.
That would have been fun, and we'll definitely make a drinking game out of it. It is what it is.
Save your PTO, people. It's going to be a long night.
What's nice is instead of now having to have looked up all the shit, seeing it firsthand and seeing the stuff, I don't know if it makes me... It makes me... Seeing the crowd and seeing the type of people that were there made me sad for gaming. I'll say that. And that's all I'll say. The reactions, the overhype by people for certain things, I was like, calm your tits. Stop trying to be, like, in on the, like, oh, this is amazing.
Right, it's all we have. Our personalities are our hobbies, or our hobbies are our personalities now. And that's the world we live in. Hey, don't you dare besmirch the hurdy-gurdy.
I am not. I'm legit. I equate that to the, oh my God.
It would have only been better if Animal was playing the hurdy-gurdy.
What? This is going to kill me so bad. What is the Weird Al instrument? The,
the accordion?
Is that, well,
he plays an accordion.
With the piano on the sides?
Yeah, it's an accordion. Like, you can have those little shit-tick accordions that are just doing that covering the holes.
The little one.
But, like, the real legit, like, they have the piano keys on the side for different notes.
It's still just called accordion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm probably wrong, but I believe it's still an accordion.
No, because, yeah, I thought accordion was just a little guy.
Nah, there's different butt types.
Okay. But, yeah, so what I want to hear is, for anyone who wasn't on stream, if you were on stream, let me know if you liked it. Like I said, maybe we'll do it again, make a drinking game out of it. But for anyone who has watched it since, or
lucky
heard
for Brian,
stuff,
that's the only Game Award show out there, so he only has to do it once a year.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, that was that stupid bitch in the pink dress. Oh my God, another one.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
She couldn't care less to be there, and
she looked like those squish balls.
Thank you, Jim.
Good description. You know, with the little tentacles and shit coming out of them.
What was she, Jim?
Squish balls.
Yeah, like you said, I like the fact that I saw it firsthand. I did feel like Xbox didn't have much of a showing there. That was weird, but whatever.
But yeah, the reaction, people going like, Xbox spits in the faces of games. Like, shut the fuck up. The Game Awards don't matter.
Well, we know that's one group of people saying that because of the console war that's going on. But Jim, I mean, we know it's coming from PlayStation fans, but wouldn't you say one of their developers are in hot water for his take on his game?
Oh boy.
And it's someone we've covered before.
Yeah, you actually just played it this year.
I did. So, John Garvin, who was the director for Days Gone.
And writer. Don't forget writer.
Yeah.
It's his baby.
He basically previously went on a rant and said the reason Days Gone isn't doing well is because people aren't willing to pay full price. And basically, if you want a sequel, then you need to get out there and pay full price for it. Like, kind of bashing fans.
Yeah, not a good start.
So now, the middling reviews, which most people I think gave it 7s, 8s. Like it wasn't one of these ones where
it's got like a Metacritic of like 74 or something like that.
And which is, you know what? In my opinion,
71.
That's a good game. And I know in today's world, someone actually did a meme or showed a graph of like how like me and you review games are legit scores, whereas IGN and everything else, everything's a 9.5.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the meme now, thanks to IGN, where a 7's considered bad.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, if you're not at least an 8, you're considered a terrible game. So in the 7s, but he's basically, so this guy John Garvin is saying he's blaming the reviews on woke reviewers who claims couldn't be bothered to play the game, but he goes further to say. It had woke reviewers who couldn't handle a gruff white biker looking at his date's ass. Is this...
Come on.
Like, do you... Now, he said this on a podcast or a show, and is there any chance he
I think it was just a tweet, wasn't it?
No, well, he said it, they captured it in a tweet later, but he said it during a show.
No, he tweeted his theory in response to a fan asking why he thought it didn't do well. It was just a tweet. So he said 3 reasons. 1, it had tech issues like bugs, streaming, and frame rate. 2, it had reviewers who couldn't be bothered to actually play the game. And 3, it had woke reviewers who couldn't handle a gruff white biker looking at a date's ass. Now, I mean, in the smallness of fairness to him, like, there were reviewers who did complain about, like, oh, the male gaze and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But, like, even this article points out, a lot of that shit was in, like, a game like Red Dead Redemption 2. And it's a game that got universal praise. Because if you make a great game, you can throw that shit in there and no one really cares. Whereas if you make a very mid game, I think even you said it overstayed its welcome, wasn't that great. It was okay.
Yeah. I
like
think
you played through it all, but it was like...
I gave it a B. I said, I'm huge into zombie games. It was fine. Like, there were a lot of really cool things. I said it had amazing use of music. The story... really well done. Like it got you into it, but there was a lot of pieces that, it went too long. The herds of zombies were cool, but like, I don't know, the game felt like it was always missing something. And this guy is he's trying to blame everyone else for why he didn't make the next all-star game. Yeah. It's really what it comes down to. Like, you didn't make Red Dead 2. You didn't make some knockout game. You made a fun game, a fine game. You should have just left it at that. I guess to your point, he probably was honing in. You know what it is? Just like everything else everyone does.
Well, the second he blames, fucking wokeness, it's like, all right, you're just trying to like rile up a crowd and shit like that.
He's trying to find the support where he can, and he knows if he says that, he'll at least get some folks on his side. Like, fuck them.
Like, he might bring in like the Quarterings and the Eric Julys of the world to his side, but even like no one cared. Everyone just went, the game wasn't that great. No one cares.
Which,
he thought he made art. He didn't make art, and he can't accept it.
I guess, is that though a telltale sign of someone who, we're all guilty. We're all on the internet too much. You're much more than me, but you and I both do the same thing. You put out a video or something, you can get a lot of cool video or something nice. That leaves your brain right away. One comment that's negative about it, oh, fuck you. Like, there's an automatic, like...
You piece... Yeah.
And this guy probably, when he says that, he's probably referencing like one specific critic review. He's like, and to his fairness, it probably was someone like woke, like lambashing him. And he probably read that article over and over again and seethed about it and probably ignored the many articles that were probably like, it's a fine game, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't read the fucking articles. Like, yeah, they probably did complain about it, but I mean, it's a biker, so he's playing into what you expect a biker to be. Fine.
Yeah.
And if the reviewer has a problem with that, then either know the source or maybe he just did a cringy. I didn't play the game, so I don't fucking know. I don't even care. I'm not going to play a fucking 30-hour zombie game. I don't care.
Jim, you don't care about a lot of things.
I don't care about anything at this point. I am fucking done.
Jim, are you basically saying you're a nihilist?
I'm beyond nihilism at this point.
Is that why you don't like The Big Lebowski? Because of how they portrayed your people? The nihilist in it?
Oh. No, not even that. I just I don't know.
Sir Peter Stormare.
I think when I finally got around to watching it, I expected it to live up to these impossible expectations, and I was like, it was fine. I was like, I don't get why everyone's so hyped up about it.
You don't get a lot of good things.
I get things, Brian. I get things.
I think our fans have proven.
Fine, let them. Whatever. It's not going to change my mind anyway.
Jim, I think your opinions are unique for the purpose of trying to be unique.
I'm not trying to be unique here. I'm not trying to bash it. I wanted to like the movie. I didn't hate it. I went, that was fine. I don't get the hype.
Jim, when everyone's talking about some of their favorite DC characters and you throw in goddamn Blue Beetle, there's a problem there.
Ted Cord is a treasure.
I'm just saying. Just saying, Jim.
Him and Booster Gold were the heart and soul of the Justice League International.
When your favorite WWE superstar is Gold Dust, I'm just saying.
Endless entertainment.
I'm just saying, it seems like I see a pattern here. When you're kind of defending Hotel Mario, there's a problem. There's a problem. It's a game about shutting doors. That's all there is.
Interesting concept.
It's shovelware.
It was not shovelware.
Just because you paid
poorly executed, yes, but shovelware it is not.
When you try and defend flying through rings on Superman 64, there's a problem.
I'm not defending it. I just said that was the best part of the game.
When you say Kevin Spacey can do no wrong, there's a problem. I'm just saying.
Hey, Brian, he was vindicated for all of 10 minutes before he had another 10,000 charges thrown his way. There was 10 minutes where I was back in the good graces.
Jim's like, yes, I'm right. Oh, shit.
Look, until he raped all those 20,000 people, he was a great actor. God damn it.
Just saying, Jim.
No one's perfect.
You have a history. That's all I'm saying.
No one's perfect, Brian.
So, yeah, I think you and what's his name? John Garvey or Garvin?
Yeah, whoever the fuck.
You got some stuff in common. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think he listened to one too many Jordan Peterson things. He was like, I'm gonna take down these woke moralists. All right.
God damn it. All right, Chambers. So we're back, and we've moved on from the Grand Cacao to the Dreamweaver, which is that your favorite? No. What's your favorite?
No, Dreamweaver probably is my favorite from them.
Okay, yeah. So it's their wheat beer, unfiltered, 4.8%, so it's an easy drink. We've had an interesting combo of beers here.
Yeah.
Probably a terrible idea given our night last night.
Oh, God.
Tomorrow's going to be interesting.
God, it's fucking hurting.
But delicious beers. Highly recommend it. Especially if you're looking for a lighter one. I think Dreamweaver's available year-round, though.
Yeah, Dreamweaver's year-round.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely try that out. But you got an interesting Gamers Mad this week.
Yeah, so we're going a little different, off the beaten path, because we're going to hit some relationships. Time for relationship expert time. Should have probably caught up our old buddy Rhinestone for this one. But
yeah, let's dish.
Yep. So, from at the Ginger Perks, she says, I firmly believe that gamers should date gamers. I don't think I could ever date someone who doesn't play games. It's such a big part of my life, and I'd want to share with and experience with a partner. So this right now, it's sitting at about 800 retweets and 10,000 likes. So pretty beefy tweet right there.
It took off.
And I saw my timeline just flooded with quote tweets and reactions and shit like that to this. And I was like, man, this is really sticking to people's craws on this.
I dove probably too deep into this. Because I really want to see. I want to see who's supporting it, who's saying that's ridiculous. What her what I'm surprised about is I thought the thing that people are in the know, and maybe she doesn't have a lot of viral tweets. There's no knock on her, but she seemed to try to be replying to everyone who
Well,
said
I
something.
mean, she still has like a relatively small following. She's like 2,000 followers, so she's not a huge account.
It wasn't a knock, but
She was
like I said,
engaging, yeah.
But and then she really quickly, like, after something takes off, she said, "To the people getting upset by my post, please don't. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one. I'm not saying this is the creed to follow, only my opinion, which you don't need to agree with. I've seen so many gamer friends burnt by people who disrespect gaming. Biased." And then, by the way, I'm sorry. When a tweet goes off, when it's the second or third tweet down, it's like, well, this is getting a lot of attention.
That's like the meme now.
I know, but it's like, because it's a meme, shouldn't that just stop? But regardless, I digress. So then she basically followed up with a few other things. I will say the majority of things were basically people completely disagreeing with her. Now, some were more respectful than others. Some were like, yeah, like, I have a wife and she's not a gamer and it works well. Yeah. Whereas others are like, that's completely ridiculous. Like, I didn't see many
others are just like, way to limit your options, whore.
Well, so I decided, let me dive deep. Let me see her responses. And it's like, she basically said this stemmed from, I guess, a previous relationship where she had a girlfriend and she was explaining, like, this girl clearly is very into gaming. And she was explaining to her girlfriend at the time, like, about this game. And the girlfriend did what probably our wives would do us, just looked at her and said, huh, that's cool. And just kind of ignored it. And she said that relationship fizzled out and is, to a degree, I'm paraphrasing, kind of just saying this could be one of the reasons why. Now, I actually have an interesting opinion on this one, Jim.
All right.
I'm never against someone who has an opinion like this. I think it's obviously a bold statement to say something like this. I think this screams two things. One, this is someone who needs their partner to be their best friend and to share their hobby with. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a friend to share your hobby with, like my wife, she's not against gaming, but she's not into it at all.
Yeah.
And it's one of those deals where it's like, I don't want her or need her to be. Like, we have plenty of other things we're into together. I like the idea of somebody you're with.
It's good to have that little bit of separation with
you should have, there are some things like she's not, the only sports me and her are like together are MMA. Everything else, separate. Video games, separate. Like, there's plenty of things we're completely lock and step on. That's an odd one. And I'll be honest, this is coming from 30-some-year-old guy. There weren't girl gamers when I was growing up.
Sexist. Canceled.
And especially where I grew up, you were still kind of a nerd, guy or girl, if you were a gamer. Like, if you didn't do it, like, just at the arcade, if you did it at home and a lot, you were a nerd, period.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who did it. So it was one of those deals like...
Yeah, even though, like, a lot of people, like, basically almost everyone was gaming, but, like, it was still considered the nerdy thing. You
wouldn't openly admit it. Now, here's the deal. With your guy friends, they'd come over, you'd play, and then go outside for a little bit, whatever. It was a thing, like, once you couldn't be outside anymore, all right, come home and game. Like, but if you went into school and all you talked about was gaming, you were going to get made fun of.
Oh, yeah.
So my thinking is, like, when she's saying, like...
you get called a lot of things you can't say now.
Yes. And this is where I kind of go... No guy has ever gotten laid by talking about his knowledge of Toe Jam and Earl. Like,
can confirm.
Like, this is a completely one-sided argument when it comes to men and women, and that is no guy. I will say, in the history of video games, no guy has ever gotten laid because of his depth of knowledge of video games or being a gamer, unless he's someone who's making a shit ton of money from it. Like, just being a gamer would never be enough.
I mean, unless you're, like, going to pick up other gamer girls and shit like that.
No, I would even argue.
Because, like, I think G met his wife because of, like, Dance Dance Revolution, basically.
There's a difference between, like, he may have been at an arcade or went to an event, meeting someone with similar interests. I'm saying, like, the opening line is, like... As our joke used to be about Mario Kart, like, hey, do you know there's a secret tunnel in Koopa Troopa?
Fucking Matt.
Like, honestly, do you think a guy's ever gotten a girlfriend, laid, whatever you want to use. But I believe the inverse to be true.
Man, that's your test. Go to a bar, walk up to a girl and say, I beat Elden Ring in under 100 hours.
Now, granted, if you are
She doesn't suck your dick, you failed.
if you're ridiculously good looking, very charismatic, how you deliver it, it's obviously a line. That's different than go to a gaming convention. How many of those guys that are there single are going to pick up women, even women who are there for gaming, are picking them up based on their gaming knowledge and their love of gaming?
Brian, not to pick on our poor brethren over here.
I'm just asking a question here.
How many think you're going to go and actually try that? Not as awkwardly as possible.
That is
because if that's your route in there, you got to be full bore, like funny fat guy, obnoxious kind of level. Like you got to be confidence out the ass.
Yes, and that is kind of my point here, Jim. Her argument, which is you should have a partner that's into gaming, and when I was reading her responses, it read very much like, not only are you better be into gaming, but do you think she means her partner if their partner was a COD person? Now, granted,
are they the right kind of gamer? She's an RPG fan.
RPG, I was going to say, she fits a very specific mold of gamer that she would probably not like gamers of a certain ilk.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then that's the argument. What is a gamer? Is it someone who casually, look at our buddies who only play COD. Is he a gamer? Yeah, he plays every day. But would gamers consider him a gamer?
That's the thing. Dirty casuals.
When you try
Can't let him in.
When you try to dive deep into this level of nerdom, and when you try to pair your biggest hobby with somebody else, I just don't think it's necessary for compatibility. That's only my suggestion. I don't care what your biggest hobby is. I mean, your music and games.
Yeah.
Your wife does neither.
Correct.
You're compatible.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be compatible with your biggest hobbies. I'm sorry, you don't.
So you can have none of the same hobbies. Sometimes it just works.
Yeah, and honestly, I would argue that you open up someone's mind to other shit when you, like, I love her response was all the things, like, whether your hobby is true crime, fantasy novels, video games, or astrology. I was like, you just hit four things right off the bat. But like, when she wrote that, I said, once again,
did you have to go for the most woman on the internet things possible?
Well, no, but my bigger problem with that was she's describing she wants a friend, not like you don't need the person you fall in love with to love all those your favoriteest things in the world. Imagine if you needed to find a chick who loved Rush. Oh, how would that go for you, Jim?
Oh! Guess I'm moving to Canada 20 years ago.
I mean, it's just one of these weird things. And I go, like, I thought about it. I'll be honest. I've never had a girlfriend that identified as a gamer girl. And if I met someone who identified themselves that way, I don't know how I'd feel.
I don't think I'd.
Well,
I want to be. I mean, obviously,
if
our pulls are different. Our pulls were.
No. What I was going to say is, if I'm being honest, as a guy, you don't care that much about that.
No.
That's the caveat I meant to say.
I was going to fuck you, but you didn't play enough Star Fox 64. So, hit the bricks, bitch.
I would.
You had your chance and blew it, lady.
I don't know that.
This is a very one-sided kind of thing too, because
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like a guy could say something like this, but when it comes down to brass tacks,
yeah, no guy. I will argue no guy in history has ever not been with a girl because she wasn't a gamer.
Right, there are a lot of morals that can get thrown out the window.
I would argue, you know what, and as I said, and I know we're making it sound like no guy would be with a girl. No guy would be with a guy. Or be with a guy because, like, guys don't care.
Yeah, I mean, like, the post nut clarity can come in and be like, I don't know if this is going to work out, but
it's weird.
Foot in the door.
What I find funny is when you post a strong opinion, she seems shocked by the strong opinions back, which then makes me go like, how many times do you think people purposely will throw out a post like that, like an opinion, if you will, that are
all the goddamn time?
Once again, I'm not the internet person. I don't know.
That's all being a big poster is just like trying to get engagement.
Yeah, I don't know. I reading her responses, she clearly I read that as she had some experience with an ex, this girl that apparently didn't care, didn't respect.
And she probably went, this would have been so much better and easier if she was into what I was into.
But I guess the only interesting thing she said is it really comes down to the person not disrespecting you for your hobby. Which then I was like, once again, what do you call disrespect? Like if Sandy was like, how do you disrespect someone's, like if she just said,
if she was just sitting there, you're playing that stupid shit again or something.
But even if
basically like talking like my mother would.
Yeah, I mean that would be number one. I think if you have any area of disrespect, you're in a problem state already.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the only problem that was
you're
going on there.
Probably not just being disrespected for gaming; you're being disrespected for other shit. So, to each his own. I saw it's like I wasn't thinking anger. I was just like, it's like, I'm not.
I know you're not either. Yeah,
I'm looking at this and I go, I feel bad for her because if she limits her pool to that.
Good luck.
I've seen this with too many people, guys and girls alike.
Good luck.
When you all of a sudden take the pool of people out there, there's gazillion people available to you, and all of a sudden you start putting parameters. I find the funniest shit. It's like height parameters, job parameters. Now it's fucking hobby parameters. It's like you are going to make your pool this small, and you're going to tunnel vision your view, and then you're going to be in your 40s going, why can't I find someone? Is it you or is it, what is it? Is Taylor Swift wrong with all those breakups? I'm just saying, they keep happening.
I'm just saying, it's a common core.
Just saying.
There's one thing in common there.
I did like
Things
this.
happen.
What I was shocked was there wasn't more support for her. I thought that she was going to get an outpouring of like, go queen, slay.
Yeah, that was actually like kind of weird that she wasn't getting that.
Basically, everyone's like I said, some were way more respectful than others. But for the most part, they're like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially, like, you would at least expect a couple Sims to come in there. Attractive girl.
Yeah.
Some kind of blind defense.
I play games.
I am actually surprised by the lack of that response, too. Hey, gamer here. Hey, DMs are open.
This is where I would love.
Hey.
Can we request, like, can we see what the DMs after that were? Because I'm sure in the DMs it was a different story.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, God, that poor girl. She probably... Oh, I hope her DMs were closed. Oh, God. I'm sure there were so many cocks.
Jim, I don't think they all went right to cocks. I think you're giving Sims way too much power.
Right. You're not on the internet enough.
You know what, Jim? You were right there. I am not on the internet enough, and this proves why I shouldn't be.
Yes, no one should be. That's why we're all in the state we're in.
So, yeah, I want to hear from you guys, though. What do you think? Is she right? Is she wrong? Do you care? Have you ever not been with someone because they don't share a hobby? It doesn't even have to be gaming. But have you ever not been with someone because of that?
Yeah. Maybe make your hobbies a little less who you are as a person. Just in general.
Yeah, that shouldn't define you. I don't care what your hobby is. I say the same thing. I think the biggest dorks in the world are sports nerds who will tell you stats of every piece of thing from every year, and that's it. Anyone who knows stats of anything that much, too much. Just saying. That's my opinion.
I don't know, Bri. If you're in the moment and the lucky lady doesn't know Bryce Harper's OPS, I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think she even deserves to be there.
I hope you enjoy your hand at that point.
Boot! Right out of the car.
But Chambers, in another bit of, and I did like that, by the way. I like Gamers Mad like that. That was a unique one. But in another kind of twist, if you will, in this
we
saga,
have a few twists. This is twisting and turning.
In this saga of the Microsoft transaction, because at this point, the deal has gone through. They've purchased Activision and Blizzard. There's a 10-year deal to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo.
This is coming from the horse's mouth. This is coming from one Phil Spencer.
Which you and I have said many times. There was that thing back in the day of could they bring Game Pass or something to Switch or Nintendo. This is basically the foot in the door, or in case of Joy and the Sex, foot in something else. This is the way of saying, like, we'll bring something to you, maybe as a test, a show of good faith. I think if this goes through, this would be a way you would end up seeing Game Pass on some shit.
I mean, it very well could be. And he was also saying that they were still committed to bringing it all to Steam and shit like that.
Yeah.
Didn't really mention Sony.
He's talking about COD being brought to other things. Like, he's branching out, basically saying, like, I'll bring it to Steam for Steam Deck. I'll bring it to Switch. Or, you know, he says Nintendo, but we know it means Switch or Switch 2.0, whatever the hell it becomes. But, yeah, I mean, that I don't think was on anybody's radar.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the first time COD's on Nintendo since Black Ops 2 on the Wii U, I think, was the last time.
That was on there?
Yeah. Servers are still up.
Probably did terrible.
I mean, everything on the Wii U did terrible.
Wii U was
the
terrible.
Wii U, it did 13 million sales.
And you gotta stop defending it. Just like your Barry Horowitz.
Had great ideas. Good pat on the back. Great series. The
And
the Wii U library's fucking kept the Switch afloat.
Ideas are not enough, Jim. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, had some execution issues. Had some marketing issues.
I'm just saying. That's not enough. Ideas aren't enough. Originality's not enough to save a game or a system.
Ideas.
But yeah, so that was huge news enough. But as we mentioned at the Game Awards, the day of, previously Microsoft was being sued by whatever the London or European equivalent.
I don't think they were being sued, but it was like, you know, they were being investigated and like heavily scrutinized by them for the
sale and basically the
London trade cocks, whatever they're called. I don't fucking.
The idea was that was being lobbied by PlayStation folks that were pressuring them to like put this through. And now the FTC is involved with this.
Right, the Alphabet Boys are out. They're coming for blood.
They're out, and
nothing ever comes good from the Alphabet Boys.
was this the same ones that sued Bill Gates in the 90s?
I think so. For monopolizing and shit. Yeah.
Which, didn't they technically win?
I forget.
I
think they did.
I think they did, but I think at that point it was too late because then they already had like Netscape. Like I think at that point Microsoft already had like
throwback
everything, and basically like it was like cool, you find them a lot, but they're moving ahead anyway.
Yeah, that worked.
So I don't know.
That does build precedent. I didn't even think about that part either. Totally forgot about that.
So that's why I'm bringing it up because it's like okay, you're still
Axe to grind.
It's still Microsoft, but I still argue like what they did and what they're citing, and they didn't. And the article was from WindowsCentral.com.
I mean, this was all over the place, but
it's everywhere. But one of the things I don't like that the FTC is stating is that Xbox has already proven that they're going to withhold games, and I'm like, we've covered this. It was like 1 or 2 games.
It was Starfield and Redfall. They said as a reason they can't be trusted. So basically what they did is, I think it was in the EU or something like that, where they basically said that they wouldn't, this was from the Bethesda deal, and they had said they wouldn't make, these things, keep them from other consoles, and they turned around and did it.
Yeah.
For these games. But I mean, that's why I think they might be kind of fucked, is because that establishes a history of saying, we're not going to keep this from you, and they've turned their back on that before.
But this is where I guess I'm confused because, as we talked about before, the video game industry is a $100 billion, whatever the number is.
Oh yeah, it's a gashmillion dollars.
And they're all hanging their hats on basically COD still. At the end of the day, it's really COD is the moneymaker there. How is this different than you look at how many years running PlayStation has run away with Game of the Year winners? The shit they do have exclusives, they're allowed to have those. And I get it's different. They've developed it in-house. Well, not
for the most part, it's in-house. They've bought some people.
But that's what I mean. Like, in general, they have studios, because who did God of War Santa Monica?
Something like that, yeah.
How is this different? Like, you're buying a company, and now, you want shit exclusive, even though they're now sending out deals like saying...
Well, I think if they were, at least with the Bethesda thing, like if they were probably doing a PR thing where it's like, oh, are you going to keep this from coming out? And they're probably like, no, we're going to let it come out. And then they turn their back on it. Whereas if they went, we have to decide internally what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like if they just said that and then they did, then it's like, all right, we knew you were going to do it anyway, but you did it.
But I still, like, what I don't get is if they use that as precedent, Maybe I'm not smart enough of his monopolization. Unless they turn around and bought Sony or Nintendo themselves, I'm sorry. Even one of the biggest developers in the world is not enough to claim monopolization.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, where even if this merger does go through, there's still only going to be like number 3 by like size-wise.
Which, okay, let's say they make Call of Duty, everything from Blizzard, everything from Activision, everything from Bethesda. Okay, I think that could potentially sway in the future. But I don't think Microsoft, as we've said, is planning on staying in the hardware game. Like, they're going to sell their service to whoever will have it. If anything, they're going to say, PlayStation, put our service on your shit.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. We're not talking about, like, people who, like, follow gaming. We're talking about the federal government.
Yeah.
And the Federal Trade Commission. So they're just looking at it as, like, a numbers, a market share, an impact kind of thing, and, like, Activision's market share on the entire industry and shit like that, probably.
Yeah.
And then they're looking at Microsoft saying, like, we know the federal government doesn't know shit about technology or gaming or all that kind of crap with whenever they try to put their new things around to try and police the internet. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you just look at the brass numbers of it, you look at it and go, holy shit.
True. Yeah, and we said COD is the number one.
And if Sony goes, look, they're trying to monopolize, they're going to take this from us, this is our highest selling game. And they, then you throw that other little tidbit of, look, they've lied before, or they've gone back on it before.
I was going to say, how much Sony lobbyists is there and money?
Because I'm sure the lobbyists are going fucking ham right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my initial reaction was like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. But then when I saw that thing about, like, those couple Bethesda games, I was like, I think they might have screwed themselves.
They might have, but once again...
I mean, Microsoft did say they're going to fight this lawsuit from the FTC, so...
And if it's any indication like the 90s, even if they lose, it's going to go through. Maybe there is a deal like they have to for so many years, but as we said, 10 years in gaming, who knows who's going to have a console then?
And they've already committed to even to Sony to say, we'll give it to you for 10 years.
Yeah.
And Sony, didn't respond.
It's very...
Murky waters.
What I like is it's interesting. I'll say that. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it waters down any product. I think it's... I want to see what comes out of this. But yeah, now I think once you get past the FTC, whether they're against or for this, whatever happens, that'll be the end of it. And then it'll be, let's see what actually falls out of this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dude, I mean... When we first brought this up, how many months ago? It's only been like 6 months, I think.
It's been a fairly fast, like, I think there was I think we started with, like, the rumors when they were in there, like, buying, like, when it was like, oh, they got Bethesda. That's crazy.
Right.
That was last year or whatever. It was like, huh. And then we made the jokes.
And that seemingly came out of nowhere when Bethesda happened, too.
Yeah, and then when Activision was like, could this be real? And then we joked about, could it end up on Switch? Could they buy Sega? All this shit is like now, like, yeah, they actually probably could have bought Sega.
Oh, they probably easily could buy Sega.
Yeah, so it's like one of those deals where you go, honestly, nothing's off the table, I don't feel like. At
this point, no. Yeah.
Is that why there's no Nintendo Switch 2 release? Because they're going to be bought?
I don't know what the fuck Nintendo's doing with their hardware. Like, Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo always does, and they're just going to have an announcement and just drop, like, oh, new system coming out in 2 weeks.
Well, they generally, and I know I'm generalizing, they don't usually do back-to-back bangers. They usually do crazy hit.
It's been a while.
Kind of a drop. Crazy hit, kind of a drop.
It's actually been since the NES and Super NES for home consoles that they've had back-to-back winners.
Back-to-back. Yeah, because even though N64 was good, it was...
Yeah, I mean, it did fine. It did like $30 million, but like compared to the $100 million of the PlayStation.
And then we had GameCube was kind of a drop, too.
Yeah, that was like barely $20 million.
The Wii was... But then...
Wii was like
we also forget at that moment, though, like there was all those handhelds and in there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they always dominated with the Game Boy and the DS.
So that... But now, like, I feel like... They're out of the handheld game because whatever console they do will probably be some version of Switch where it's also handheld.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think they have to go to hybrid. They can't separate it now at this point.
Yeah. Be interesting. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to keep following this because it actually is a topic that interests me and I want to see where it goes. But Jim, speaking of topics we've covered previously, And why can some people never stay out of trouble?
This fucking guy.
This seems like a guy you would defend.
Kind of. Yeah, probably.
Eugene.
Right, he made Nights into Dreams. How can you not love him?
I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know.
You don't know what Nights is? Like the killer app of the Saturn? Where you're like the wizard
Saturn,
girl?
the
The wizard
thing I
girl
don't
flying
have.
through rings. Flying through
wait,
rings.
Oh, the
More
night,
rings.
the night series?
Yes.
I only know that because there was one of the Nights games was free on Xbox 360. That's as far as I know about Nights.
It was probably into Dreams. Because there was only like 3 games, I think, anyway.
Jim?
I think there was like the main one on Saturn, then there was like a Christmas like expansion.
Yes.
And then they had one on the Wii. I think that was it.
Now, Jim, of your history of knowing me, is there any part of that game that you would say, that's a game Brian would try?
Flying through rings. Delightful. Sounds right up your alley, Brian.
Where you're playing like Doki Doki Princess or whatever the fuck it is. That would be whatever your princess game you were playing the other last week.
Coda Princess.
Yeah. Or, just the names of the games. If you just don't know anything about the games and you hear the names of the games you try, I'm like, why?
Why not?
Because there's so many better games that you have sitting on your goddamn shelves. I go, he could have played this. Just tell me I'm wrong, Jim. Tell me on all those shelves you have some glory and you say, you know what? I'm not going to touch this physical media that I paid too much for. I'm going to play Code of Princess.
But Brian, that is physical media that I paid too much for. So at least I played it.
So you bought new shitty physical media and ignored the good stuff. I'm not wrong.
Look, mistakes were made. I wasn't exactly happy with my purchase.
But you keep doing the same mistake. You're the kid that touches fire and goes, ow, ow, ow.
Look, Brian, eventually you kill the nerve endings and you don't feel it anymore.
Jim.
I'm like Bart with the cupcakes.
Just tell me about your Yuji Naka, buddy.
Well, Brian, as we previously discussed, good old Yuji Naka was busted for a little insider trading for a Final Fantasy game.
Yep.
And
it really wasn't that much when we talked about it. That was a lower dollar value.
yeah, he was like, there was a bunch of people there who were in on it.
Yeah.
Some who put in for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. He did like 10 grand, which, still not nice.
Yeah.
Not a good thing, but yeah, he did it again.
And this time a lot more.
Yeah, so he was rearrested over Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier insider trading scheme. So it was a mobile title that he tried to go in hardcore on. And Naka was made aware of the plans to develop the game, and he purchased around 120,000 shares in the company. So about $834,000 American.
A little bit higher this time.
And yeah, I think that game came out and didn't do shit. Kind of a bomb. But he wasn't investing in the game. He was investing in the company anyway. So
Okay. So what I will say is when we last talked about him, I kind of gave it a pass because it was about the first game. It wasn't Final Fantasy. It was a different game. It was a game where I said like,
oh yeah, it was
cares?
Dragon Quest Tact.
Yeah. Where I said, who cares? Obscure thing. No, it may not be legally right, but I said, who cares? This clearly demonstrates this guy has that wasn't even like, oh, I have this like once in a lifetime opportunity. Like maybe I can make a few quick bucks, because it was a small enough dollar amount where I went, okay, maybe he was like hoping this would like take care of some debt. Like I was trying to give him an out. This reads, he's a degenerate fucking gambler, and he just, this is what he does. And this also makes me go, oh, he's got a lot of other shit. Like you get caught back to back now. Come on, buddy.
I mean, still his worst crime was making Balan Wonderworld, but this is still pretty bad.
Is that another game you paid too much for?
No, that is a game I played the demo of and went, holy fuck, this is awful. And luckily I did not get around to playing that game.
But you would have probably bought it on limited run.
It wasn't through limited run. It had a full release.
Just saying, you have a track record.
I've actually seen it in stores for like $9 new, and I was still like, nah. Because I played the demo and I went, no.
But here's the deal.
But to your point, if it was limited run, I probably would have done it.
And I think I asked this before. So is he getting busted in Japan or is he in the U.S.?
Japan.
Okay. So do they have the same kind of laws as the U.S. when it comes to this stuff?
Well, if he's been arrested twice for it, I think yes.
But he seemed to get out pretty fast.
Well,
Or is it just like a big-ass fine?
I don't know. Maybe it's a scale for how much your punishment is, because the first time, like we said, wasn't that much.
Yeah. But 800 and how much?
$830,000 that he invested into it. It's a lot.
It would be funny if he did that and then lost a lot and then got...
Yeah, but he invested just into Square Enix, so...
Yeah. So he's probably fine.
He's probably fine.
Well, he's not fine now.
Not now.
But
Not a smart boy. Bit of a proud boy. Not a smart boy.
Yuji Naka. Get your shit together, man. I defended you once. I said, who cares? Obscure game. You got a pattern here.
Devil's advocate Brian over here.
Hey, man. If it didn't hurt someone specific...
The inner Sonic fan in Brian coming out. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Jim, who has the wall of Sega that you don't even play?
Oh, I play. It gets played. Not all beaten, but it gets played.
It hasn't all been played.
It's been played.
I don't believe it.
Mostly.
Don't you newt me.
Mostly.
But yeah, no, Yuji Naka, I see this. I give it another round of arrests next year.
I can't wait for next week when we have another Yuji Naka arrest story, because it's weekly at this point.
And then it all ends on him on a pile of cocaine with autoerotic asphyxiation.
That's everything I've ever wanted, Brian. Don't make me like the guy.
What can I say, Jim? Goldust, Yuji Naka, Kevin Spacey, you have a pattern. Code of Princess, it's all the same. Joy of Sex.
Hey,
God.
the second you played that, you went, we have to do something with this.
We are just going to find Jim Code of Sex or Sex of Joy on repeat.
Code of Sex,
Wait,
Sex of Joy.
Joy of Sex. God damn it.
It's not that hard, Brian. I know you are right now, but come on. Watching those scenes.
I mean, when that old lady was describing the scenes, I mean, who wouldn't be?
Oh, he really bugged my cup a snatch.
Jim just wants to see discoloration. That's all.
Bully. The problem with the thing, you don't see any real discoloration, except for the hand-drawn shit. With feet in it. What a game. What an experience.
The two people out there in the world who may know what this game is, I hope you like those references.
Mr. Kill Everything, you know.
Fuck. So yeah, Yuji Naka, enjoy your jail time. It's probably more of a fine, I guess, in Japan. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's...
Bring back flogging. Let's go with that.
So Jim, is there any defense for him from you?
No, I don't give a shit.
Oh wait, you're nihilist. I forgot.
There you go. It's the beauty of being me.
You're Peter Stormare in Big Lebowski.
Yes.
I know you don't even know who that is.
He was the foreign guy, the bowler, right?
No, the you're talking about the Jesus guy who...
Oh, wait, no, that was fucking, what's his name?
John
That was-
Turturro.
Yeah, that was Totoro, yeah.
Yeah.
No, who was Stormare?
Peter Stormare was the leader of the nihilist guys. Remember the three guys who like were in like black and they start messing up his car and then Walter comes out and like messes them up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Peter
forgot about
Stormare was
that.
also the devil in Keanu Reeves movie.
Devil's Rejects?
No, the devil movie with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, Constantine.
Constantine. He was the devil in that.
Never saw Constantine.
Okay, he's the Russian guy in every movie you've ever seen.
Oh, okay. That narrows it down.
You son of a bitch. So Chambers, Dreamweaver still your go-to?
I mean, it's still... Actually, what do you call it? It's been a while. Maybe it's better out of the tap or out of the bottle.
Aaron Lewis?
Walked into that one. But it was still good. Almost, I guess, after the first two, it seemed a little, like, not flavorless. I don't want to go that harsh, but...
Very, very light.
It was very, very light compared to those two. I mean, it's still a very easy drinker. Like, I still really enjoy it, but...
Yeah, for a wheat beer, you're still going to get a little bit of that, like, banana and just the hintiest hint of, like, pepper. But wheat beers in general, they are so light. I'm not used to having wheat beers in winter. The problem is, like, you have them in summer, they're kind of almost, like, as you like to say, refreshing. But in winter, you need something a little more hearty.
Yeah. It seemed like it wasn't the right time for it.
It doesn't hit you right, which is, beer is seasonal. I will say that. So, yeah, of it, I would definitely say all three are good options. I like the Grand Cacao the best, and then
For tonight, I'd say Cacao gets it. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, guys, we want to say thank you so much for watching. If you haven't hit subscribe already and the notification bell, please make sure you do. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating. Whatever you say, we will read during this podcast. And if you haven't hit subscribe, please do. Supports us. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.